Okay, it's a FUT birthday icon. Striker. Is it Wayne Rooney? It's Wayne Rooney. Guys, Manchester United legend. He's a club legend. So we get Park Ji-sung on Friday, and then Rooney. What's going on right now? Very, very cool. What is going on, guys? Sid here with another FIFA 23 video, and welcome to the RTG on this channel. So guys, lo and behold, yesterday we packed none other than FUT birthday icon Wayne Rooney. 92 FUT birthday icon Wayne Rooney. Guys, and if you take a look at the team, in the last video, I also showed you that we packed Park Ji-sung as well. And I did try out Park Ji-sung in a lot of matches, actually, over the weekend, right? So I have a super idea as to how he plays. But for the purpose of today's video, it's a player review of none other than 92 FUT birthday icon Wayne Rooney, right? So we've got two Manchester United legends in the starting squad for the first 3 games, right? And then we are going to play a little differently in the next 3 games. I don't want to give it all away, right? So, in any case, right, for the first 3 games that I tried out this Wayne Rooney card, obviously, as you can see, if you guys did notice, right, we've got Kylian Mbappe as my new right winger, guys. Oh my God. As a right winger, Kylian Mbappe is absolutely goated in game. He feels so smooth. That position just belongs to him. He definitely trumps Jorginho in that position, guys. Oh man, I cannot contain myself as to how excited I am in this video to try out the players that you see on the screen, right? So, thing is, right? We're trying out Wayne Rooney with a Hunter in the first 3 games, right? The Hunter Chem style, right? Now, the thing is about the Rooney card, he's a high, and his dribbling stats seem to be distributed quite nicely, right? But thing about it that I felt very early on with the card, right? As we get into the first match, as you see on the screen right here, right? Obviously, I'm recording in post-processing, but just to give you guys an idea, right? Mbappe slots in the second goal, guys. How cool is that, right? So, yeah. But, yeah, the one thing I'm going to tell you right off the bat with the Rooney card that was very apparent, right? All these matches are in FUT Champs qualifiers, by the way, right? This was early this morning, Monday morning, right? So, yeah. First thing I'm going to tell you right off the bat, the dribbling, right? Because I had Kylian Mbappe as my right striker, right? When I strapped the Hunter on, the card that was in that position now, which is the 92 FUT birthday icon Wayne Rooney card, right? It was extremely noticeable, right? The first touch, the difference between the first touches, right? Extremely noticeable in game, right? So as you can see right here, first match, we're already 3-0 up, right? So it's the ideal scenario. But what I'm going to tell you, Wayne Rooney, his dribbling stats are a little too low for this stage in the game, right? Everything else feels absolutely crisp in game, right? His pace feels good with the Hunter Chem style, right? His physicality, he really does feel very strong in game. Very low center of gravity. You can feel it in game, right? Mbappe is just cutting people to shreds, and we put away the 4th goal of the match, and Rooney slots it home, right? So, seems like we're off to a great start, right? With the Rooney card, this is literally my first match, right? And he scores 1 goal, 2 assists. Not bad at all with the Hunter Chem style, right? So, right? I'm just thinking to myself, wow, we're off to a great start. But it's just one of those things where I know, like, you can just feel. You can feel when something feels out of place, especially with what you're used to. You just feel the lack of dribbling precision, right? The precise movements, the ball control, it's really lacking, right? So even though I have 2 assists and 1 goal in the first match, right, and it forced a rage quit, right, it was one of the things that was disgustingly apparent right from the get-go, right? But we get into the second match, and we're using that Manchester United link, right, for the first 3 matches, right? and we're really just testing out. It's just literally for old time's sakes. It's for good times, right? It's just for the vibes, right? Because obviously I do have that Xabi Alonso that is that center midfielder in that position. Over the weekend, I tried out Park Ji-sung, right, as my primary center mid in a lot of the FUT Champs matches, right? Just to experiment, right? Just to get like some freshness on the side. And is he better? Is Park Ji-sung better than the Xabi Alonso? Absolutely not, right? The Alonso is absolutely crisp in game. The only thing the Alonso card's lacking is pace, right? But the Park Ji-sung is a really, really good attack-minded center mid, right? And I know I stated this in the previous video, if you guys saw the previous video, right? But he'll put away, he'll get into some dangerous goal-scoring positions, but it's a card that frequently finds himself, the Ji-sung Park card is a card that he finds himself out of position from a defensive standpoint in the center midfield position, right? A little too much, right? And that does come down to the work rates, it comes down to the pace, it comes down to the lack of clarity, like pure defensive stats, right? So his awareness, right? That little force field effect, it's not really there as much as with the Alonso card or the Gattuso card or any of the cards with the higher pure defensive stats before you add on the Chem style, right? The Chem boost, right? So, all things considered, it's an insanely well-rounded card, right? But as you can see, like this match, I got into the second match, right? And this was definitely a high-level opponent, right? And I was having a lot of trouble just putting away, right? Like, for some reason, that goalie in the second match, that goalie was just blocking everything. I was like, okay, this is going to be one of those matches, right? And then he slots home the second goal with his Gareth Bale card. Absolutely insane goal, right? That header took me by surprise because I had just like instantly made a sub, right? By the time, like, and literally from the, like, as soon as the kickoff happened, right, back to the corner, not the kickoff, as soon as the game resumed, right, he slotted away that goal, right, the second goal with the header with Gareth Bale, right, but then I bring it back with Wayne Rooney, and I make it 2-1, right, so it's the 62nd minute, right, and I could feel how strong my opponent is, right? And I'm playing at a very high tempo in all of the matches that we're playing, right? So there's no drop in tempo. There could be a little fatigue from just playing back to back to back to back, right? But I did like I'm taking like 3-minute breaks in between the matches that you see here, like in throughout the whole video, right? So there's like a 3-minute break. Like if I wanted to, like it would have probably been better had I like spaced out the matches maybe like 5 minutes apart, right? Just to like so you don't zone out, right? Because if you're playing a lot of games all at a high tempo, eventually you're just gonna zone out. It's your attention span. You've got a lot of other things when you play, especially when you do have like you're just like making a mental checklist and whatnot, right? But guys, 92 Wayne Rooney, he's doing work, right? He's doing work, but it's not convincing, right? He scored me one goal, right? And the second match ends 3-2, right? So I did take a loss in the second match, right? So I'm like thinking to myself, right? He's got the high work rates, right? And his dribbling clarity is just not there, right? And it's something that is very, very apparent, right? And one thing, right? One helpful tip, right? It doesn't always help you. It doesn't always lean to your playstyle, but one helpful tip I would like to give a lot of people that are a little bit more new to the FUT realm, right? On Footbin, there's a stat distribution chart, right? If you ever check out Footbin, of the chem styles that players most commonly use, right? And they'll give you the distribution, right, as to how many people use a Hunter, how many people use an Engine, a Deadeye, etc., right? And you can check the comments as well. You get relevant feedback that could help you like narrow down like your options in order to help you, like if you need it, right? In order to help you use your cards better, right? Or to the best of their abilities, guys. we get into the third match, and I'm losing bad. This is 97 Benzema, right? It's a god tier side that I came up against in the third match, right? It's an RTG, but it's a pure god tier side, and this is an elite level player, right? So you cannot take anything away. I was fighting for my life, right? And it's the third match with Parky-san, and this is like, when you get to like the pro level matches, right? You can feel when it's a pro level player or like an elite level player, right? One of the higher end players, right? And the first thing that you're gonna notice, right, is that you end up bleeding goals, right, with the Parky-san card. I was hoping when I made this video, I would have had an 89 Parky-san, right? That upgraded version of the Fantasy FUT Heroes card, right? So it didn't happen, but I didn't really mind, right? Because we're really here to test out the Wayne Rooney. And everything on the Wayne Rooney card feels great. But back to what I'm saying, right? If you go on Footbin, right, for any of the newcomers to the FUT realm, the FUT universe, right, you check out which chem styles most people use that card with, right? So I don't need, usually I don't need that, right? But I do take a quick double check, right? Like just to see, should I try it with this? Should I try it with that? So, for the first 3 games, I was like, okay, you know, like, even before, like, I didn't check Footbin. Like, even before I made this video, I was like, okay, you know what? We're going to test him out with a Hunter. We're going to play 3 matches with him with a Hunter. We'll see how he feels, right? Because I already, like, assessed, like, the stat distribution, the attribute, the skill, what am I saying? The stat distribution of the dribbling, right? So, it's apparent. Like, I'm driving home the point. It's apparent. His first touch isn't as clean, in this stage of the game, right? If that makes any sense to you. And especially since I was using that right striker, Kylian Mbappe, right? It's ever so apparent how bad the 90 dribbling feels at this stage in the game, right? Especially when you're coming across players with insane defensive capabilities. Like most of your opponents, you're going to have those crazy good defensive awareness stats on their defenders, right? And their center midfielders. And, you know, like, it makes it that much more difficult, right? So, I'm hammering home the point, right, that obviously after the first 3 matches, right, especially after this match, right, this was a high-tempo match, right? So, we're going to take the penalty with Wayne Rooney, right? And obviously the first penalty was saved, right? And slot away the second, right? So I do bring it back to make it 6-4, but by this point the match was already set, right? It just felt that way. It was a high-class opponent, right? He was putting away every single chance, and the goalie was just letting in everything, right? And there's just some matches that happens, right? But it's 2 losses back-to-back, right? So with the Wayne Rooney and the Parky-san connection, unfortunately, it's a fan favorite kind of deal, right? It's kind of like one of those things where it's like 2 club legends and you really want to use them, right? So after the first 3 matches, 1 win, 2 losses. Does not feel good, but it was to be expected because obviously we're trying out players, right? We're trying out things, right? So 3 matches, 4 goals, 2 assists, not the best record, right? Especially if I was using Mbappe in that position, right? But I must hammer home the point again. The Mbappe as a right winger feels so clean in game. His dribbling stats are so freaking clean, right? That 92 Mbappe is gonna. He's like a long hauler in that 92 as a right winger, right? Going forward, right? And Stoichkov, absolutely epic as my left winger, right? Eusebio, really good, right? So the next 3 matches, right, as much as I love Park Ji-sung, right, and he's a club legend, right, unfortunately, he has to go on the bench, right? I already knew this after Weekend League, right? He was exploited quite easily, right? Anytime you went against, like, a pro-level player, right? If it wasn't, like, a pro-level player, right, he was like a machine in the center mid, right, as a center midfielder, and he would score goals, and he would, like, drive home assists, and all that good stuff, right? But, guys, Wayne Rooney, I put him with an engine chem style on. Xabi Alonso is back as the primary center mid, paired with Gattuso, right? So we've got the engine chem style on Wayne Rooney for the next 3 matches that you'll see in this video, right? So Nothing but good times, right? I'm super stoked to actually use this card, right? Pass it over. Stoichkov passes it over to Wayne Rooney. Already makes an impact by the 5th minute in game, right? So it's to be expected, right? So obviously, what are the drawbacks to using the Wayne Rooney with an engine as opposed to with the Hunter? Well, obviously he's going to take that little pace drop, right? But what do you get in return? You get better dribbling clarity, you get better passing clarity, right? And you get that little bit of pace, right? And so it's not a pace abusing way of playing. Guys, I made a huge mistake right there, by the way, right? But it's already 3-0, right? In the next batch of 3 matches, right? So in this video, right, I tried to I take the video, I saved the penalty, by the way, right? Which is good times, right? So I tried to keep this video under a certain amount of time, but it's a player review, right? But I want it to be as substantive as possible. So it is a 25-minute. It's a little under 25, right? It's like a 25-minute player review. So I did try out the card to the best of my ability, and you guys are getting the best initial impressions that you're possibly going to get, right? And how would I rate the Wayne Rooney card with an engine chem style? Well, I think he's like a solid. I'm going to give you like a heads up at this stage in the game, right? Because it's already 4-0, forced to rage quit, right? And yeah, like you can definitely feel the difference in game. You definitely feel the difference in game. And actually, what I'm gonna do right now, give me 2 seconds. You can hear it. I'm gonna tell you how the 92 shapes up. I'm gonna give you the actual stats as you guys are watching the screen, right? So he feels like in game, because he is a high, right? One thing I want to hammer home, he feels like he would be much better suited with the 4-1. What's that formation? Okay, so the right mid, left mid, the 2 center attacking mids, and the striker, right? He feels like he would be a very comfortable center attacking midfielder in the game, right? And if you're using that formation with the 4, I keep forgetting it, right? The 4 in the back, the center midfielder, right? The left midfielder and the right midfielder and the 2 cams and the striker, right? So he feels like he would be a clean center attacking midfielder, right? Like especially if you like switch through different formations in game, like like say you have like a standard formation, then you have your attacking formation and stuff like that. And if you wanted to just change around your formations, like he seems like he would play comfortably as a center attacking mid as well. He just feels that way in game, right? Certain cards just feel cleaner in certain positions, and he feels like he would like the card seems much more suited as a center attacking midfielder, right? But as a striker, I was like, okay, you know what? We switched over to an engine chem style right there, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? No, let's just give the penalty to Stoichkov instead, right? But Rooney, the FUT birthday icon version of the Wayne Rooney card, right? I'm reading off, right? He's going for like 1.14 mil in terms of coinage, right? At this current moment in time on the PlayStation, right? So his acceleration is gonna go up to like a 94 overall, 95 acceleration, 93 sprint speed, right? So shooting stats 94, 93, but it's still really well distributed. Insane shot power. His long shots are really good, right? So the thing is, right, his passing stats are going to get the boost that it needs, right? His curve is going to be insane, right? He's going to be a workhorse. He's going to have 96 curve, and his dribbling is going to go up to a 94. So where does that benefit him, right? It benefits him, like, he feels very clunky, right? So, with the Hunter Chem style. So his agility is going to go up to like a 90, right, with the engine chem style. His balance is going to be improved plus 8, so his balance is going to be like a 93. His ball control is going to stay at a 93, but his dribbling is going to be a 96. It's a plus 8, right? So his composure is an 89, but you're gonna feel it. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna feel the difference. It's like night and day in game. You gotta use him with an engine chem style, right? And when you check the distribution, right, of chem styles used, right, on Futbin, 57% at this current moment in time of the recording, 57% of people use him with an engine chem style, right? And then obviously you have the other chem styles, right? But the going chem style to use is an engine chem style. And how does he feel in game with an engine chem style? He feels absolutely insane, right? He feels like a 92. He feels like a solid 92, right? He feels the way his stats look on paper, right? And he feels really crisp in game, right? You don't want to use any other chem style. You want to use an engine, right? You don't want to touch the shooting stats. The shooting stats are perfectly fine, especially when you have him paired with Eusebio in this squad, right? So I'm thinking, like, I'm already looking past, you get the feeling, right? Like certain players, when you have the correct chem style on them, right, you just automatically get the feeling, okay, this is correct, right? What you were using before felt clunky. This is correct. So guys, use him with the engine chem style, and you're gonna feel like, if you ever do pick up the card, right? And what would I rate the card? Does he feel like a 92? Of course he does, right? Is he good value? Of course, right? And is he a fan favorite? If your club is Manchester United, you're gonna want him in your side, right? So, and if you're one of those people that play with, like for nostalgia's sake or whatever the case may be, right? And you want to use Wayne Rooney, what I suggested? Yeah, sure, why not, right? I want to give the card, right? The initial impressions / player review. I want to give the card maybe like a 9.3, right? This is my, with the engine chem style, right? If you're using him with a Hunter, I'm probably going to give him like an 8.9. Yeah, right? The difference is like night and day. Like, I really need to hammer home that point, right? So in this match, what you're going to see is that my opponent, right, he's playing at an extremely high tempo, but his players are not of, like, god tier caliber. So I cannot take anything away from this opponent. This opponent is, like, surprising me left, right, and center, right? Really class opponent in this video, right? To end out the match, right? But I did get demolished, right? As you can see, right? I take nothing away. Like, I tell you guys, right? Sometimes I'm on the receiving end of those same matches, right? Like, sometimes you'll see me win a match, right, by like a crazy number. But then again, right? If you're playing like an arcadey playstyle, right, you incur that same amount of damage as well from time to time, right? And it does come down to playstyles, right? So I think the next order of business on the RTG, right? We're already looking past this match, but look at this goal. Look at that goal. Took some stupid bounces and it just went in, right? And it's that Alex Fernandez card. I don't even know how he's doing what he's doing with that Alex Fernandez card, how he's playing as good as he is, right? But I took my foot off the gas, right? I started monologuing after like the first goal in this match, right? Because I already felt how clean the Wayne Rooney card felt, right? So I knew that I just needed to just chill, right? I could take my foot off the pedal in this match, right? But then I got a little too I got a little too coasty, right? I got a little too sloppy, and then I incurred like 2 back-to-back goals. That's not good. That's not good, especially for a player review, right? But I did get my butt handed to me, right, in match number 2 and match number 3 of today's video, right? So yeah, once more, Wayne Rooney, how does he feel, right? He feels, yeah, he's like a solid 9.2, 9.3, right? His review, right? In terms of like player review, he's a 9.2, 9.3. That's what I would give the card at this stage in FIFA, right? Gattuso puts away a goal, right? Make it 5-3, right? But yeah. Kylian Mbappe as my new right winger. I'm so excited. And look, guys, Rooney slots it home. Make it 3-6, right? Obviously, I put my foot back on the gas, right? So, good times, right? So, finished strong, right? Started not so strong, but finishing strong today, right? So, we have the remainder of qualifier matches to play, and we'll have more packs to open. I did a whole bunch of, like, the trophy crafting, right? SBCs, right? And, yielded me absolutely nothing. Nearly up to 20. I did 19 of them, right? Nearly up to 20. I was gonna tack it onto this video, right at the ending of this video, but then I was like, no, it's gonna make the video too long-winded, right? So guys, Wayne Rooney, 2 goals, 1 assist. Literally every single match, right, with the engine chem style, consistently giving out 2 goals, right? Plus the rage quit from the majority of the matches, right? So 2 goals, 1 assist is kind of like where the Wayne Rooney stands, right? So it's good times, right? It's highly consistent. The card is highly consistent with the engine chem style, right? And it's just gonna be dependent on how you're playing on the day, not the AI or not how the card feels in game, right? So guys, that's how I feel about the Wayne Rooney card, right? And he's one of the Manchester United greats, right? He's definitely a United great. Messi rates him high. I rate him high. He's a team player, 100% one of the best team players during his time playing, right? So guys, that'll be the video for today. Peace, love, all the blessings to you and yours. Make sure you drop some love on this video. Took a long time to make, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. Guys, Sid out. Cheers. Enjoy the week ahead.